Hello everybody, this is Julius Gunsa Conwy of Conwy Books, the company that wants you to read again. And today I will be telling you about the progress that has been made on my building construction project. In the last video that I posted on June 13th of 2023, I told you that work on my project had been halted because there was a little dispute that needed to be resolved. Well, today I am back to tell you that dispute has finally been resolved and that the land is now mine. I am the one that you are looking at in the pink t-shirt. I'm the one that's speaking. I'm the one that's sweating. Back there is my security guy, Samuel. In this video, I was returning home. I was returning to America. And I passed through the site just to check on the guys who were working. And we had a good time. I talked to them, I encouraged them, I motivated them. And shortly afterwards I left. After making this video, I left for the airport to return to the United States, where I am now. Okay. Back to the main reason for this video today. As I told you earlier, there was a case. There was a dispute concerning the land on which this property is being built. Long story short, in the end, this property on which my building is being constructed belonged to someone, but it is now mine. So, long story short again, initially I bought the land for $2,800. This is a 2-lot piece of land. So that means that I bought each lot initially for $1,400. So in total I paid $2,400 for the 2 lots. And after the case that I just talked about, I paid $8,000 more. So I paid $4,000 more for each lot, meaning that altogether I have paid $10,800 for this 2 lot piece of land on which my building is being erected. Another good news is that the building has been completed to the roof level. And now I also have peace of mind, because I don't have to worry anymore about who is coming to tell me the place is his, and who is coming to tell me the place is theirs, and who is going to be bothering me about the place anymore. Everything has been resolved. So now the property belongs fully to me and my wife, Mabinti Conwy, who you saw in the last video that I posted on June 13th. Even though the case is over, I want to share with you a lesson that I have learned when it comes to investing in Liberia, especially when it comes to investing in real estate in Liberia. As I told you in my previous video, I was here when I sent money down to purchase a piece of land so that I can build my house. I actually sent that money to someone that I met through a friend that I had been talking to on Facebook for a long time. So I trusted this person and I sent him the money, and he bought this land on which the building has been erected, and he told me that he was building the house on this building, on this piece of land. So I sent him the money in December of 2023, no, December of 2022, and I went down the next month in January of 2023, which was last year January, and he took me to another piece of land which is located in a different place. So when he took me there, he had erected a warehouse there. I was in America when I sent him money to buy the land and build a warehouse, so that when I went down in January, I could be there for the groundbreaking, for the commencement of the building project. But when I went down, he took me to another land, and I didn't even know. I thought that was a land that he had bought. And surprisingly, that land had 3 cornerstones on it. In other words, the land was a triangular shaped land, a 1.5 lots piece of land. And then whilst we were there, he told me that something had happened. He said that when he bought the 2 lots that I initially thought he had purchased, and he was building the warehouse there, someone came and told him that the place was theirs. That is the place that my building is on now. And when the person told him that, he went back to the people who sold him the land and told them that I was coming down. He said, my big brother is coming down, and since someone has said that this place is theirs, I would like you to please give me another place so that when my brother comes, he can see the value of his money. So that was when they sold him that 1.5 piece of land, 1.5 lots, triangular 1.5 lots piece of land that he took me to. And then he said, besides that, there was another piece of land, like a stone throw away. He said that other place was a 1 lot piece of land also that they'd given me. So they didn't give it to me, because later on I bought these places, okay? I already paid for them. But he said they gave me that triangular piece of land, and they gave me a 1 lot on the other side of the triangular piece of land. That was the other place that I showed you in my first videos, because I posted 3 videos last year, 1 of this building project and the other 2 of some pieces of property that I bought. So that is me again, Julius Gunter Conway. That's me, a very simple and easygoing man. But I don't take I can say that I'm easygoing, I'm nice and kind, but I really like the truth, and I like to deal with people who are honest. So back to the video. And again, as you can see, the place is beautiful. This time I just like to make videos and shade the footage so that the footage can look like this. So I set my camera again to another feature that actually dimmed the light. But in reality, it was a hot day and this place was very bright and hot. As you can see, I'm sweating in the video. So back to the story. Now, by the time my guy who bought the pieces of land for me, because he bought 2 other pieces of land besides this one that the house is on. By the time I even sent the money down for him to buy the land, he and I had already designed the plan, the house plan, and the house was going to be very huge, and he knew that. And he knew that the 2 lots here that the house is on now is where the house was going to sit. So when I went down, and he told me that, oh, something had happened, and they were giving him some the other pieces of land, the 1.5 lots that has a triangular shape, and the other one lot on the other side of the 1.5 lots that had a triangular shape. I was like, what happened? He said, oh, let's go there so you can see the place. So we went here. At that time, this place where the building is located now, the building is being put up now, it was a complete field. There was no property there. It was just a field, an empty field, uncultivated, undeveloped. It was just sitting there. So he took me there, and then he also showed me, when he took me there, I saw that he was actually building a warehouse there. But the warehouse, he just put the foundation down, and he puts the wood up, the frame up, and then all of a sudden he said he was interrupted by the other person who said the place was his. So when I went down, because I went down for the groundbreaking, so when I went down and he told me that, knowing that I already paid for this place where the house is located now, and again, that's me, Julius Gunter Conway of Conway Books, a company that wants you to read. I love Liberia very much. I love my country. I grew up there until I was around, I was very young though, when the wars broke out and we moved, we ran away. In the process, I lost my dad, but God protected me and my siblings and my mom. And we lived in the Ivory Coast for 13 years before moving to America. So back to the story again, the main story of the day. So he knew that the house was not going to fit on that triangular piece of land. And then he took me there and said, oh, this is a place that they gave me at last, so this is a place. So I said, okay. I went and we did the measurements and realized that the house wouldn't fit there. And by that time, I'd already paid for the location where the house is now. So we went, and he said, let's go back to the people who sold the place to us. So we went there, and I really love this brother. I opened my heart to him. I took him like my brother and everything. And I didn't care about his tribe and all of that. The war in Liberia is over. Nobody's thinking about such things. So, but we went, and he showed me the place, and I was very happy. I liked the place that the house is on now because it could accommodate the house. So he said, let's go back to the people who sold the land to us. We went to the guy who sold the land to us. The guy said, let's go to town. There's a government office in town here. There's a district commissioner who knows about this place, and he knows that this place belongs to my family. So we went there, and the people said, yes, this place belongs to the guy who sold it to you. The other person is just an imposter. This place is a family property. It is not an individual property. So the other man couldn't have been the one who bought it. This place belongs to this family. So you can go ahead with your project. If anything happens, come to us. So I went and I said, okay, you guys can start the project. But one thing that I did was that I dedicated this land to God. I said, God, this project is yours. This property is yours. I'm nobody. I'm only flesh and blood. Lord Jesus Christ, I give this property to you. I give this land to you. I give this project to you. It is your project. It is yours to manage. It is yours to protect, and everything else. God, I put it in your hand. It is not, I put it in your hands and leave it completely to you. It is not mine. I'm only a vessel. I'm only a human vessel, but this place is yours. And I prayed some other powerful prayers there, dedicating that property to God. That is what I always do with anything I get, with any project I start, or any property I buy. I dedicate it to God. So I dedicated this land to God, and I said, God, this is your property and this is your project. And after that, I returned to the United States and I started pumping money down, and they broke the ground. So I was monitoring the fellow. I bought him a phone and everything so we could communicate effectively. And then they broke grounds and they were doing the work. And then from time to time, the other fellow would come and say, oh, the place was his. And then he would tell me, oh, the place, someone said the place is for him. So I thought what the people told me at the township people told me at that government office, the district commissioner's office, was true. And I continued to, develop the land to build a house. So it happened like that until I was supposed to go down in June, because the house was supposed to have reached roof level in June. So I went down. I was supposed to go down in June. So I was supposed to arrive in Monrovia on June 4th. So when I told the fellow that I was going down, just before I could leave, he called and told me, oh, the people said that the man who owns the place came here. The man who said the place is his came here with a police officer, and he actually went to the land authority office in downtown Monrovia and got a stop order. So they have stopped your project. So the case is now going to the land authority office, and I was very shocked because I told him, the guy who bought the place, I said, do your investigation. If anyone comes to sell you a piece of land, please go to the National Archive and verify their deed and everything. And he told me he had done everything. So he just told me that he didn't really do his background check, his background work. And also, you know, I've also been wondering, you know, at the end of the day, I started wondering whether his getting a triangular piece of land that the house would not fit on was intentional. Whether he did that intentionally so that I can have this dispute after building my house on this land. So I was very confused about the whole thing. And then when I went down in June, on June 7th, we went to the land authority office, and that was when they opened the case. So I told them, well, I'm the owner of the place. I sent money down. He's only my agent acting on my behalf. So I'm responsible for everything. And I was there, and they said, okay, we are going to investigate everything, and then we'll get back to you with the outcome. I said, okay. So that was the second time that I went down to Liberia in 2023 when I opened that case. It was, unfortunately, it was supposed to be a celebration because I was expecting to go and see my house completed, built to the roof level, but then instead it was the opposite, and I was plunged into a land dispute case. So I just took it as such. I put it before God, and I said, okay, no problem. And after that, I was there when we went to the land, and they did what's called a spot check, where people from the land authority office, surveyors from the land authority office went there and inspected the place, inspected our cornerstones and everything, and they came and told me that their preliminary observation was that the place that I had, my property was built on the other person's land. So I said that couldn't be true. But then when I called the guy who sold the place to me, he was always distancing himself. When I told him, let's come and let's go to the land authority office, he would give me excuses. He would say, come here. We have an office downtown. We have a government office here. Come here first before you go downtown. Whereas the people downtown, the land authority office, they are the head. They are the ones who control everything in Monrovia, in Liberia, and the whole of the Republic of Liberia when it comes to land disputes. So this person was dodging and telling me, giving me excuses, and they never showed up to go with me to the land authority office after claiming that the place was theirs and it belonged to their family, and the other person was wrong and they owned the place. That fellow never showed up with me. He never showed up with me to the land authority office. I went there all by myself. So after the date of spot check in June, I returned to the United States, returned to my job here, and then they said they were going to look into the case. So they said, okay, they were going to set a date for the investigative survey. So they set a date for the investigative survey, and my boy who bought the place sent me my own copy of the paper. I was supposed to pay a portion. The investigative survey was supposed to be $1,000 or something. I was supposed to pay my portion, and the other fellow was supposed to pay his portion. So I paid my portion promptly, and then they set the date. They said we're going to set the date, and they set it for August 31st, 2023. Well, what happened was that God really wanted me to go down, because around that time my wife fell seriously ill in Sierra Leone. She had been to the hospitals 3 different times and she was still ill. So I went back to my employer and told them that I wanted to go down, that my wife was seriously sick and I had a family emergency, and asked if they could please allow me to go and come, and they said, no, you've already exhausted your vacation time for this year. You have to wait until 2024 January, when the year rolls over, when we reset everything and we allocate vacation time again, which is called PTO, pay time off. That is called vacation time. Okay, another way of saying it is vacation time. Another way of saying it is PTO. That is how they call it in the workplace. So they said you have no PTO anymore. All your PTOs have been exhausted for 2023, and you cannot go. So I had to make a hard decision and resign from my job to go down, because God was just pulling me down so I could be there to save my wife, and also for this case to be resolved in my presence. So when I went, I was there. I got down. I had arrived in Liberia on August 29th, and then on August 31st was the date of the investigative survey. So I was there on the ground, and I was there, and all of us were there when they did the investigative survey. And they said they were going to be, because I knew that I had already resigned and my wife was very sick and I didn't know when she was going to recover. So I went and signed up for 2 months for accommodation at a guest house in Monrovia. And after a few weeks, they signaled my boy, and he told me that the people have finished doing their investigation. They said they were going to do the investigative survey, which I was there when they did. And then they said after the investigative survey, they were going to do the land history, which they did. I don't know how they did it, but they did it anyways. And they came and they called us. They called the other party and me to go for the final verdict on the case. And when we got there, they said the place was for him. And I now have to talk to him to negotiate. And I talked to him, and he said I should pay $5,000 for each lot. I talked to him again. He said okay, he couldn't go below $8,000. So I said no problem. I paid him $1,000 of the $8,000 when I was there, remaining $7,000. And I had some challenges when I came, because I had already left my job, so I was looking for something new. And when I got here, I was able to pay the remaining money. I paid the $5,000. He said the payment arrangement we made, because I signed a memorandum of understanding. So the arrangement we made was that I should pay $1,000, which I did when I was in Liberia in October. By that time it was in October. When the case was closed, it was in October. And to pay the remaining $7,000 in installments, to pay $5,000 by December 31st, and then the remaining $2,000 by May 31st, 2024. So the $5,000 of the remaining $7,000 was supposed to be paid by December 31st of 2023, and then the rest of it, $2,000, by May 31st, 2024. But as God would have it, I paid the money promptly. I paid the installment of $5,000 for this that was due in December. I paid it. I sent the money down on December 27th, and they paid the guy his $5,000 at the Land Authority office on December 28th. So that was taken care of. And then in February of 2024, I paid the remaining $2,000. So I cleared that debt off by God's grace. Everything was arranged by God. It was just meant to happen like that, because I had the money on time and I paid everything on time. And then by God's grace, I bounced back to a new job, a different job, which I'm on now, on time also. So I was unemployed for 6 months. I paid everything off. I was even in Liberia when we signed that memorandum of understanding. After I paid the first $1,000, they lifted the stop order on my project. Before the project was halted, I'd already paid those guys. I can say I paid them double or what? I'd already paid them to take the house to the roof level. I paid them very well. I really took good care of my men. Anytime I work with someone, I satisfy them as much as I can. So I paid them off already, so they were motivated. So when the case was over, they knew they owed me and they had to do the job. So I bought the materials and they took the house to the roof level. So now the house has been completed. Here they were just starting the process, but they were moving very fast. So even on the first day, I think within the first 2 days, this is what they had done. They had gone a long way already. So when I returned to America, I think it was two weeks later or 3 weeks later, when the house was completed to the roof level. all could have happened in just 4 months, but then it ended being extended because of the problem on the land, and that was resolved. So I just want to thank God, and I want to say that if you want to do any business in Liberia, any investment in Liberia, go down. If anybody wants to sell you a piece of land, tell them to follow you to the Land Authority office. That is one of the reasons the Land Authority office on Ashmore Street is there for. Tell them to follow you to the Land Authority office with their deed, the mother deed. If they follow you to the Land Authority office with that deed, that means that it's going to be a genuine purchase, and you won't have the kinds of problems that I had on this land. See, so tell them to take the deed for that land they want to sell you. They should have the deed, the mother deed. Tell them to follow you to the Land Authority office. And also, if you want to do something like this in Liberia, if you want to invest your money, after buying that land securely, buying the land correctly, make sure you go down and be there and buy your own materials. Because I realized that the fellow that I did this thing through, he did a great job, but he didn't do everything right. So that is what I will be doing from now on. I'll be taking my own time to go down, to be there, to initiate the project, to buy the materials that I want to buy, make sure everything is done according to the quality that I want, so that everything can be done well. Okay, thank you for watching this video. This is Julius Conway of Conway Books, a company that wants you to read. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for everything, and thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye for now.